Hi people, me again obviously, Moreno Ravenberg as always and as usual. Now, it's video time again, and as you can tell this is a video on the Goetic spirit Barbatos. That's how I pronounce his name. In English you can say Barbatos, but I prefer like the Latin pronunciation Barbatos. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Spelled B-A-R-B-A-T-O-S, as you can tell from the header. Now, long story short, I wanted to improve my mind delving abilities. Check the end screen if you want the playlist on mind delving and whatnot. The article associated with this video, as always and as usual, that this video aligns with or is associated with and or to, as well as it'll be embedded in the article. You can check the link to the article in the description of this video, and other interesting things that I'm going to add, if any. Now, I'm not going to state the same thing the way I usually do, what the article says. You want interesting stuff, read the article. I have a lot of interesting stuff about everything that I'm going to discuss, but the video is specifically for information that I don't mention in the article. That's why I state in the video, in the article, I state watch this video for more information. Yeah, I wanted to improve my mind delving abilities, so I wanted to be able to just improve overall by my own standards, mind you, because my mind delving abilities, just like everything else, even if I say so myself, is already unmatched and unrivaled. But I specifically wanted to be able to connect better with the material world. In my videos on mind delving, very shortly summarized, I already explained that just like a spirit, if I delve into something or someone else's mind, the biggest issue, metaphorically speaking, the biggest issue is to come so close to the material plane, the material world, to the point where you see everything happening in real time, so to speak, or come as close as possible to getting to that point. And the reason that it's so hard is because of the flow of the universe, the way things happen. Okay, again, the whole basic concept of mental, astral, physical, everything comes from God, and then it flows spiritually through everything. It's like a river. The river has a source, and it simply flows in one steady, consistent stream to different locations. And that's how the world works. Everything materializes. That's why this is called the material world. Everything materially is a product of the spirit world. Apologies for the rain in the background. Just ignore it. It's raining. It's been raining heavily lately, but it doesn't matter. By the way, also check the link of this video if you want something interesting, you want to see something funny in relation to flooding in my respective location, how laughable flooding is in Suriname. Just a quick video, it's like 10-20 seconds because it's quite funny. You'll see for yourself. Again, just check the link in the video. Just check the link in the description of this video. Now, anyways, as I was saying, that's what I wanted to accomplish specifically. I wanted to get as close to the material world as possible to the point where I can see and hear and feel everything that I wanted to feel in relation to my objective or the person I'm viewing in question in real time. Now, I was brainstorming on how to do so, and I thought about a couple of things, and those things were not going to lead to satisfactory results. And then essentially in came Barbatos. He essentially just appeared out of nowhere and he approached me and he simply told me, I can help you with what you want to accomplish. And the agreement I came to is that I had to put a tattoo of his seal on my body, just like all my other tattoos. And it would bestow upon me a permanent boost in mind delving abilities and overall clairvoyance. I went to work, I did what I usually do, I simply confirmed it through my readings and everything was very promising. I was like, okay, yeah, this will definitely do very well, it would lead to a tremendous boost in occult faculties and clairvoyant faculties, including specifically mind delving, emphasis laid on the material world. And I went to work, I placed a tattoo of him on my body. You can check it out in the article for pictures and whatnot. The other agreement was also that after Shortly after, as soon as possible, after putting on his tattoo, I had to host a one-time ritual for him with great offerings, which I did. He also asked me to do it outdoors because, you know, Barbatos is fond of nature and all, linked to nature, despite the lunarness, so to speak. But yeah, the moon is also associated with nature up to a certain degree or extent, at an elemental level and blah, 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 you know, up to a certain degree and an extent again. So yeah, Cancer as a zodiac sign, it just goes on, okay? Now, also check my primordial, so my first article on Barbatos, which is linked in the beginning of the article when I simply bring up his name the first time, the hyperlink. You can simply click the hyperlink in his name. His name is hyperlinked. And that will redirect you to the first article on him that I did in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Around that time. Now, I did all of that. I disposed of the offerings in my front yard. There's a pond in my front yard, and I disposed all of it there. He asked me to do so, or he simply said, yeah, either bury it, or the impression was either bury it or simply chuck it in there carefully, obviously, as a means of disposing in it in an adequate manner. I did so, and I felt a surge of energy flow through me. Now, when I say it's me, the strongest magician in the world, even if I say so myself, as always. So by my standards, when I say a surge of energy, oh boy, think of 100,000 volts of energy flowing through you. That's like what constitutes a great surge for me. So I felt the tremendous surge of lunar energy flow through me, and I was like, holy crap. I was like, this is nice. I like it. I was like grinning in myself. And I was just relaxing, etc., and I simply went about the day or my evening. It was already nighttime, or the sun was already setting, and by the time I was done with everything, it was like 8 p.m. for me, around that time, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., around that time. And yeah, I tested this stuff out, and I'm still not fully done testing things, but so far, everything I notice is like, ooh, wow. For starters, the spirits that I interact with, I can hear them more clearly. It's like they're talking in a loud tone of voice, despite the fact that they're using their regular voice. I can also see them to the point where it's almost like they're in the material world. Like even the smallest little things. Imagine someone wearing like a chain necklace, and when they walk, you hear like the necklace rattling. Chick, 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 chick. That level of precision and accuracy is what I'm talking about. Like everything, okay, quite pleasant, everything almost. I felt different as well. It was like surreal. I felt more in touch with the material world in some way. Like, not in touch, but it was like the spiritual and the material for me has gotten closer. It's like taking two one-person beds and then shoving them next to each other. You know, by default there is a gap between one spirit and the material world. That's why it's your spirit. Your spirit is in the spirit world. Your astral body is in the astral plane. But it went from the default this that it is for people. For me, it went to this. Spirit world, material world. Astral body, material world. So I was like, I'm a lot closer. And it just felt so surreal. And I was like, I feel so nice. And yeah. Even as I speak, I'm still feeling the heavy flow of astral, of lunar energy flow through me. But I love it, obviously. And yeah, every little thing I do, honestly. Anything that requires occult work. Every occult technique is like hyper advanced now. Anything that requires spiritual, getting to work spiritually is like super advanced. Now, regarding my main objective, which was mind delving, I have dived into the mind of several targets, so to speak, targets. And like I said, I'm still not fully done testing it, but I'm already recording this video. If there is any serious update that needs to be made, then I will do so promptly in another video or article, if really necessary. You know, a truly tremendous change over time. I've only just done this, obviously, so I'm not fully done testing it yet, but I've done enough. And yeah, oh boy, I noticed a difference. It is so easy for me to read someone's mind now, to delve into someone's mind or into a situation. It's like It's honestly literally like, how should I put it? It's literally just like getting something to drink out of the refrigerator. I mean, beforehand it was a chore. It was like putting on your clothes. Like it's like taking a shower, brief shower, shoop, putting on your clothes. Now it's literally like refrigerator, done, good. That's how easy it is. And I was like, oh, I like. And everything is also more detailed. Now my main focus, the material world, I noticed that when I, for example, I dive into the mind of someone and I'm like, show me what they're doing in the material world. So literally as we speak in real time. The devastating levels of accuracy is just off the scale. I really like it. I can see them. It's like I'm actually there materially. And I can see these people, everything. I can see the hairs on their head, everything. The way they look, everything. I can hear everything. It's like when someone's talking to them, like, hey Jenna, how are you? You know, it's John. Just let me know if you want something to drink, if you want something. I can hear all of that. I can hear a conversation which wasn't the case before between them. Their voice is so vivid. I can see everything and I can hear everything. And, you know, everything is just so much more detailed and it's so easy. It is so easy. But of course, there's a hypothetical drawback, which is that it also makes me more hypersensitive to someone that is mentally disturbed. So if I dive into the mind of some fucking freak, some lunatic, literally a lunatic, which I did, oh boy, I mean, immediately I felt the person's insanity. I felt the back of my head hurt a little. I was like, holy crap! Because I was like, show me what the person is doing in the material world. And it kept like switching in between the outdoors and the person being in a town or a city. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay. I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, why is it like chup, 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 chup? I'm like, oh, the person is so insane. The person is so disoriented and so mentally damaged and so disoriented at such a deep level that the person can't even make out properly where they are in the material world. You know, everything is like a fucking blur, a chaos. Everything is so chaotic. I'm like, okay, even at a material level. And it was so intense that I literally felt the back of my head briefly hurt. Not that I couldn't stand it or anything, but I felt the pressure. And I was like, look at that. With the other targets, the other people essentially, whose minds I delved or dove into, everything was like crystal clear. It was literally like, boop, cappuccino, good cappuccino. Even in the material world, I was like, this is nice. It's like I'm actually there. It's like I'm in the physical world. I'm like, what time is it for them? 10:49 a.m. I'm like, I'm like, okay, Google, what time is it? You know, blah, blah, blah. 10:49 a.m. I was like, I get to see what they do in like the span of an hour. Like, it tells me essentially when I'm in their minds, it's between 10 and 11 a.m. or it's between 7 and 8 p.m. And I'm like, okay, you know, I ask my cell phone, what time is it in that thingy? What time is it in the material? What time is it in their respective location, in their city, for example? Okay, and I get the exact same time. For example, between 7 and 8, I'm like, I get like 7:50 p.m. I'm like, I'm like, this is so delicious. Hold on for a second. Let me see, because usually when oh, thank goodness. No, usually when I say the word, you know, the search engine, then my cell phone automatically activates and I don't want it to turn off. I don't want it to turn off or to interrupt this recording, obviously. Because it does happen on occasion when I say, you know, the word. When I say the name of the search engine in question. Tell me this, tell me that. Yeah, anyways. So I like. In my time, I did it like 4 or 5 times respectively in a morning time for me. And I was like, yeah, definitely. Everything is super flexible. Easily. Super flexible. I also noticed that I only have to like briefly think about it. Literally only have to think about it. And I already get an image without even like being serious about it. Okay, all I have to do is like think about it as, let me check out to see how this person is doing. And immediately I get presented like an image like boom, like in front of me, and I didn't close my eyes. I was like, I'm doing it in real time, like the same way I'm doing it, I can do it now. It's like I get like a hologramic, realistic, ultra 3D, virtual reality image in front of me, at the size of a huge blackboard, the kind they use in schools and whatnot, like elementary school and high school, and I see everything, and it's like immersive to the point where it's like, again, it's like VR, it's like virtual reality. I'm in it. I can choose what I want to see, how I want to see it, etc. Oh, it's so delicious. In my own thing, I'm going like this. In my own mind, I'm going like this. Delicious. Ah, God, I just feel so good. So yeah, that's essentially it. Let me know if you have any questions. And thank you, Barbatos. Thank you, Barbatos. Thank you. Thank you. Grazie. And yeah, that's essentially it. I hope you guys like the thumbnail of this video. This is a logo and a wallpaper that I had designed specifically for Barbatos. He deserves it. Wasn't cheap, but it doesn't matter. He deserves it. You can't put a price on stuff like this, so to speak. And if you want it, then if you want the wallpaper in different resolutions for like mobile phone, handheld devices, and computers, then check the article again. Check the article. I'll also place the link there. So have a good one, guys. Bye bye.